Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bear All. This is a show where we showcase our guests. We want them to be real, raw, so that we can get them to be connected with you. So to share their story, and so that they are able to inspire, support you, and to support your change. I'm very, very pleased to be able to doing this show with my co-host, Dr. Martha Farali. Martha, would you care to introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Martha. I am a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist. And we decided to come together because we love humans. And we bring a very special energy. Hope you can diagnose this energy that we have. So anyway, you can find me at eroscoaching.com.
Yes. And just to introduce you a little bit, I'm Carol Gockel. I'm a confidence coach and change maker. You can get in touch with me on my website at www.carolgockel.com. So today we have an amazing guest. This person is very creative, well respected in the industry, a journalist, a photographer, as well as a coach. And without further ado, I would like you to meet our special guest for today, Luke Elijah Lin. Luke,
hello everyone. Thank you very much to Martha and Carol for inviting me, and I'm so honored to be able to share this platform with you and to serve together collectively and help everyone out there to live their best life.
Okay, so tell us more what you do, because Carol already introduced you.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of things. I'm kind of like put my fingers into a lot of sectors, but primarily, I would say that I am a relationship, spiritual, meditation coach. I teach people holistic wellness, how to balance their body, mind, heart, and spirit, how to have more self-love. I have also been a photographer as well as a journalist and stylist for the media industry for over 20 years. And I know I look very young, but I'm actually turning 41 next month. And so I had a very long, illustrious career. And I just been, because I'm just such a creative, artistic soul, and also as well, so I just been dabbling in lots of things. And even the last couple of years, for example, I studied in 8 different culinary schools internationally, mostly in Singapore. And so I've been like cooking up a storm during our circuit breaker lockdown.
Yes, so I have been seeing your photos on
Social
Facebook.
media, yeah.
And the photos are, of course, amazing because you are an award-winning photographer. You're also very good in writing. You are very, very talented. And I think what a lot of people don't really know, because they look at your photos, you're a professional level photographer, is that you're also a healer. So in many of your workshops, you always introduce yourself as you come from a healing family, a family of healers, and it was very unglam to be a healer. So maybe you can share more about your family background and also your spiritual awakening, like what actually happened, because I never actually heard the story of how you had the spiritual awakening.
Right, it's a really good story. I'll start from the beginning. My mother comes from a lineage of healers, physicians, psychics, doctors, acupuncturists. So her grandfather, which is my great-grandfather, studied from the Shaolin monks in China. And he was given the choice, either learn to fight or you learn to heal. And he chose to learn the healing arts. So he imparted these skills of acupoint, massage therapy, of TCM and acupuncture. He imparted it all to my mom. And my mom kind of met my dad, who was a Tai Chi and Qigong master for over 40 years now. And so when you have family members, when both your parents are in this line of work, who are in holistic healing and holistic health, it's like the most uncool thing and unglamorous thing you could think of doing. So I kind of rebelled when I was young, and because I'm very creative and artistic, kind of like my mom, took over her genes. So I told her I want to go in fashion. So that's what I did. I studied fashion. And so for the longest time, I was working in the fashion and media industry. And also I had a fashion retail store at the Cathay for 8.5 years. And one day back in December of 2011, I spoke to a Korean model friend of mine. And I told her that I was very suicidal and depressed. So suicidal that I'm willing to end my life. I just want to press the exit button and call it quits. And the reason for that is because in spite of all my awards, my accolades, everything that society taught us that we need to be happy, money, fame, you name it. And I was still, happiness kept, eluding me, and I felt like really empty inside and very depressed for no reason. And she suggested, why don't you try meditation? And I was like, huh? I can't even keep my monkey mind still for 1 second. How am I going to meditate? But at the point in time, I was really at wit's end. I was really willing to press the eject button, and so there's nothing to lose. And she took me to Kinokuniya to buy a book by a Canadian psychic called Ancient Teachings for Beginners by Douglas DeLong. And the reason she recommended that book is because her own sister's a psychic, and they're both being Canadians, they support other Canadians, right? So she brought me to buy this book, and I read this book cover to cover. I followed all the instructions. It was about opening up your third eye chakra and chanting and doing meditation. And at first it felt weird, but quickly I got into it really fast, and I was excited because it felt very good. I felt like I was floating on my body. I started to see colors and feel sensations causing around my body, and stuff that I never felt before. So I got really excited, and on my own accord, I quit my job in fashion. And for 2 years, I devoted all my resources. This was back in, because I was awoken back in December of 2011. So this is for 2012 and 2013. I devoted my life into studying the holistic arts. I was getting certified in Reiki, in yoga, in massage therapy, in aromatherapy, and so forth. And because meditation saved my life, and spirituality, was such a broad subject, and I was like so excited to finally work on my spiritual side, work on my emotional side that I have been repressing and suppressing throughout my entire career. So even though I had the illustrious materialistic career in fashion, as it was superficial, it wasn't giving me that deep inner peace, that ecstasy, that joy that I was seeking. So I basically joined the family business, so to speak, because after that 2 years, I told my parents, let's do this full time, and they kind of supported me. So we started a holistic center called Heaven on Earth. So long story short, in those days, this spirituality is kind of a bit of an outsider thing, it's still very new, not many people are awakened. And what people understand of it is also a bit of like law of attraction and a little bit of positive thinking. And it became a bit of like fake positivity as well as spiritual bypassing, because myself included and others, they were using meditation to escape reality. So instead of addictions like retail therapy or alcohol, sex, drugs, or whatever people get into, porn, right? For me, my addiction was playing video games, because I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol. So I kept playing video games to numb myself, to escape this reality. And I was kind of watching movies as well, because it's like an alternate reality. And so I kind of realized that I replaced those addictions with video games and retail therapy with meditation. And so I just striving to always feel good. And that's only, you see, our existence is yin and yang. It's both positive and light, and darkness is for the shadow aspects, right? So we're understanding that we're perfectly imperfect in our temporal human form. And that was something that I have not integrated and processed it in the early stages of my awakening. But the last couple of years, I started to really delve deeper into what is called shadow work, what's called healing your inner child, healing your trauma, your ancestral karmas. And this takes a lot of bravery and guts to actually confront and heal and all the aspects, to love and forgive all the aspects that you have not. And that was the time that I worked on my self-image, my self-love, my sexuality, acceptance of every aspect of my being to its totality. And then I realized that by doing that, I can then show others through my example and by my experience how to also do the same. And when we transform and change ourselves, can we then truly change the world? Because we start it by ourselves. And then do you only then have the wherewithal, the resources, the experience? Otherwise, if you try to teach someone without even first going through it yourself to transmute that darkness back to light, that fear back to love, it's blind leading the blind, because you don't even know how to do it yourself. You haven't even done it. So a lot of healers out there, they become like wounded healers. They haven't even dealt with their own issues, and then they try to then coach someone else, and then it becomes very are dangerous because even they still have their toxic patterns that are unhealed trauma they have not even dealt with yet. So, so yeah, that's basically my my story of awakening in a nutshell. It's a spiral. We go through higher and higher awakenings, and I'm so glad to find on my journey like-minded people like Dr. Martha Lee and Carol, and more people are joining the bandwagon and understanding these concepts, and the whole world is awakening en masse and rising in vibration, so that we are all ascending together to a better collective consciousness for a golden age for humanity once more.
Wow, I mean, thank you for sharing so much. It's like when as you are talking, I'm having the goosebumps and all. And I think, if we vibrate at a certain energy level, everybody just come together. And I really love what you shared about how you have to go back to your past trauma, childhood trauma, and whatever experiences that was anchoring you for moving forward, to erase that, get through that, and then to be able to move on. I'm also very curious, look, I was just wondering, what was the trigger that made you want to end your life?
Well, actually, from when I was back in NS, I started to develop what's called obsessive compulsive disorder, and it came from a lot of anxiety and stress from my NS days, because I had a lot of responsibility in my NS position. And I was the costume designer of the music and drama, Singapore Armed Forces Music and Drama Company, and I was the only person in that department, more or less. So all the costume needs of the entire company rest on my shoulders. So I was working very hard. I was bringing work home. I started to develop a lot of anxiousness, and that kind of led to depression, and also battling my own sexuality and acceptance of myself. So it was that tug and pull that led to many years of depression that I swept under the rug and suppressed and repressed by keeping myself busy, because I couldn't figure out how to work on it. I had a clinical psychologist. I went to see a psychiatrist, counselors and therapists, but I felt like they were only skimping the surface, and I didn't know, because it's not taught in school, right? Nobody teaches us how to heal our emotions, how to work on our self-love. It's not. So what the doctors and the psychiatrists can do is medicate you. So all they did was give me Prozac and fed me antidepressants that only numb the issue, numb my emotions, so I kind of don't really feel much. It's just like, straight line. And it gave me a lot of side effects. I had dry mouth, dry eyes, I had a lot of, I just felt low sex drive, which is not very good. You're not in touch with your human side, your sexual side, your emotional side. But at the point in time, I was only 18 to 20 years old. I didn't know any better as well. So that led to a lot of depression states. And even my father, he supposedly depression runs in the family. He also has a tendency to be very depressed from time to time. I think it's absolutely normal to be depressed. Everyone goes through it, but I think some people are just more susceptible due to their lifestyle, due to cognitive behavioral that they have. Stuff like, also the fact that they're unaware and unawakened, their consciousness level is not there, their understanding is not there, and also biological, physiologically, perhaps your brain chemistry doesn't produce enough serotonin, and you're not doing enough stuff to produce the oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and all the feel-good hormones. So that's why, that's in simplistically what I felt caused that depression.
Yeah, so I'm learning so many things about you, including your spiritual awakening and the things that I cannot imagine you being, playing computer games and taking medication. It is so unlike what I know of you.
Correct.
So just now you mentioned a few times struggling with your sexuality. Can you elaborate more on that?
Sure. A really good story on that. I came out to my parents and to my friends as gay as early as 1990, I believe it's 1992. I was only about 13 years old then. I was in secondary 1. And in truth, I already knew at the age of 3 and 4 that I like men, but to me it wasn't a sexual thing. It's just natural. I'm just inclined to men. And it was it was nothing wrong or nothing impure. It was just what it is. And so when I became a teenager, in school I was out. I just felt like I want to be true to myself. I don't want to hide my sexuality. I need to hide my sexuality because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just truly being my authentic, true self. Right? It's not committing a crime or anything. However, back then is a very different landscape. There was no internet. The internet only came in when I was 18. And so I recall, people will make jokes about being gay in the cinemas, and everyone will laugh. It's being gay is something to laugh at. And not many people were willing or brave enough to dare to come out at the time. People didn't understand it, So I was getting beaten in school in my secondary years, almost on a daily basis. My classmates will beat me up, they'll break my nose, they'll box me until my mouth would bleed, they'll kick me in my stomach. They'll basically carry me and toss me into the dustbin and spit on me. And so I was very traumatized by it, and I was afraid to go to school. And I told my dad that I'm being bullied in school. And his response was, "Who asked you to be gay?" And I felt really hurt. And I was like, wow, I'm being rejected by my religion. At the time I was Roman Catholic. My church rejects me, my religion rejects me, my schoolmates reject me, society rejects me, my own parents reject me. How am I going to accept and love myself if the people around me in my environment cannot love and accept me? So this is very traumatizing for someone in their when you're only 13, 14, 15, 16. And that also then led to the depression state in my NS. Could you see the link? So, and also, those classmates that bullied me, the schoolmates, half of them actually apologized to me in my adult years. And it turned out that most of them were gay. So I was just a punching bag. I was a shadow mirroring their own sexuality, their own low self-loathing for lack of self-acceptance. And the rest were either because they had a gay father, gay uncle, gay sibling, and then, so I became a punching bag, basically. And so and because of that, I had a lot of hatred, not just for myself, but for God, as well as for society and people in general, that I didn't know how to deal with. And that's also why that I had to purge that and heal that properly in the last couple of years. I succeeded in it. So I carry this stigma and self-loathing and anger and resentment in me for a really, really long time, even towards my parents. For even as open-minded as they are, they didn't know anyone gay and they didn't understand it. So to them, gay means you're going to get HIV, right? Especially in the 80s and 90s, that's their concept. So, I did my best to change. I tried dating girls and it didn't work, because, and I was really angry why I was gay. And, but of course, on hindsight right now, I understood that in this lifetime at least, I chose to be gay to push and support the agenda of the LGBT movement so that this minority can then have a voice, have equality and balance. And I also saw through past life regression therapy, through deep states of meditation, and that in other lifetimes, I was the opposite. I was homophobic. I was a gay hater. And so this is basically karmic balance. It's not a punishment, but in this lifetime, I had to experience the opposite of what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that kind of hatred and fear. So it's just karma balancing itself. And so this lifetime is, choosing to be gay, and this time to, and the gay movement, the LGBT movement has grown a lot in just 20 years. Right now it's a non-issue pretty much. And it takes a lot of brave souls like myself to come out of the closet. And this is the same for spirituality, when you awaken, and a lot of people are afraid to let their friends know that they have psychic abilities, that they can feel, they can see auras, and they can feel the energies, and can even see spirits, and have seen UFOs, and they keep quiet. They not brave enough. So it's like, in a way, I came out twice. I came out once as gay, and the second time as a spiritual practitioner. So in my early days, I didn't even want to tell people I'm a spiritual practitioner. I would say that I'm a yoga teacher because it's more acceptable, right? But now, no, you know, we had to bravely come out to the forefront, and so that we then give rise and permission for others to do the same. That's, hey, it's okay, it's normal now, you know. And even a few years, I think 2 years ago, it was reported in the news that Reiki is accepted by, you know, the Singapore hospitals as an alternative therapy, and you can actually make a medical claim for Reiki sessions. It's amazing, you know, because 7-8 years ago, this one can never imagine this, you know, when you first awakened and got into studying Reiki. So you're like, kind of like, people are embarrassed to talk about it because they don't want to see it as woo-woo or a bit like, you know, ungrounded or hocus pocus, you know. But those days are gone. That's the acceptance of LGBT and you know, spiritual notions and concepts have grown leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and also if you remember that yoga was also seen as a woo-woo thing.
Correct.
It wasn't, I think, when I was 19, so like 20 years ago, like yoga is demonic. So
exactly.
Yes, things have changed a lot. So okay, I really, really appreciate what you're sharing so openly and honestly with us.
Yeah.
The thing I cannot imagine is how anybody would want to beat up somebody so beautiful like you.
Oh, thank you.
When I was younger, I was bullied in school, and I was scared. I was really scared because I felt defenseless. I am a woman. I am in a woman body, and so of course I'm scared of people who are bigger built than myself. What more somebody like you who for no rhyme or reason get beat up, and you mentioned daily.
Almost daily. It was terrible. I was made fun of. I was called names like Sisi, Aqua, Bapo, you name it. Long list, you know, of really derogatory names. So it really hurt my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-image, my self-love, you know, and that trauma I carried and I suppressed and repressed in me, and I was ignorant that it was even there, because basically I was afraid to look at it, and so I had to heal it over the last couple of years through a lot of therapy sessions. You see, even coaches and therapists like us, we also go seek other professional help. And we need to, because if you want to heal someone, you got to heal yourself first. And so, you know, being in touch with my feminine, artistic, creative side, all of us, regardless of our sexuality or gender, we have a male and female side in us, the male and female energies. And so really connecting to that side allowed me to, you know, give me permission to really heal that wounded child, that inner feminine, and, you know, to rise above that and transcend it. And it took a lot of, it wasn't a press one button and it was over the next day. It took a lot of work over years, you know, daily work of really self-inquiry, of really loving and accepting myself, of what you call shadow work, looking at battling my inner demons, facing my fears, and a lot of catharsis, and then transmuting and transcending that like an alchemist.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, you know, thinking back how, I mean, I actually have all these images playing in my head, you know, how someone would, you know, your classmate would drag you and then she say, using you as a punching bag and throw you into the trash cans and stuff.
You pull my hair, you spit on me, it was awful.
Yeah, it's just horrible. I mean, and you mentioned now, you know, because when you were younger, there wasn't internet, so there's no way for you to connect and then find support or resources, you know, to understand what is going through,
what's going on,
you know, what you're going through, and you know what you can do, how to let people understand. And when you were undergoing all this beating ups and bullying by your classmates and friends, people whom you're supposed to trust, what was going through your mind? How were you feeling? What was your feeling then?
Self-loathing, self-pity, anger, hatred, resentment towards the perpetrators, self-victimization. I was really angry with society and God, like I mentioned, even my own dad, for his conditional love to me at the time. Of course, now I've forgiven him, and he's asked for my forgiveness too. Now my parents love gays. They're totally accepting now. And I can't blame my parents because they were brought up in an era where they really, no one discussed these big topics. It's not taught in school. There's no internet to research it. They don't understand it. They don't know anyone gay, at least not outwardly at the time. It's like kind of like they were born in the Brokeback Mountain movie, those kind of days when I can imagine those gays in that generation they had it even worse, to be honest. So each generation gets better because each generation deals with the ancestral karma, the karma of the karmic load of society, and cleanses it. So gays being born right now and in the future, way better. Way better because it's a non-issue now. It's getting, gays can get married in certain countries, and you get more and more rights and equality and balance in society towards the LGBT community. And I have a lot of transgendered friends, and I can really empathize and sympathize with them because I can understand that because I'm very in touch with my creative feminine side, so I understand why they will think and feel that way and feel that they are born in the wrong body. And those people get disparaged and discriminated way more as well. And I really have a lot of empathy, that's why when usually, let's say you're a cancer survivor, you will then go ahead to support and help other cancer patients because you've done it before. You've gone through it and you have the experience, and having gone through it, you then have the sympathy and the empathy and the compassion. So same for people who are blacks or LGBT, they usually then, because you are LGBT or you have HIV, then will you go and support that group and have the experience. Otherwise you probably will not, unlikely to want to do it. It's like blind leading the blind, like I mentioned. You see? Because we truly never know what it feels like to be blind unless you're blind yourself. So same for being gay or being black, how do you know what it feels like until you're in that shoes and going through that?
True. I mean, just for the benefit of our audience, right?
Yeah.
Would you be able to describe in detail, a particular traumatic experience that you encountered when you were a teen while trying to overcome all this bullying?
Oh, okay. I recall. Yes, I recall now. Like I mentioned, I went to a Catholic school and I was raised Roman Catholic. So I recall one day the bullying was extra bad. They caught caterpillars and they put it in my hair and they broke my nose.
Oh.
And they kicked my stomach. They spat on me, and it was very bad. And my teachers weren't really doing anything.
How did that make you feel?
I felt awful, of course. So what I did was I went to church. I went to Novena Church, and I cried my heart out. And I was like kneeling down and begging God and asking God to make me straight and make me normal and make me heterosexual and asking God why I'm gay and why is there so much discrimination and non-acceptance in society for gay folks? Because like I said, I was just being myself. I wasn't doing anything wrong. So, at the time, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Walt Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame came out at that time as well. And there was this song where, and Hunchback, he's half disfigured. So he's kind of like an outcast as well. And so there's a song where Esmeralda, the gypsy, she's also gypsy people are marginalized, right? So she's singing to a statue of Jesus and pleading with God about saving outcasts. God Save Your Outcast was the title of the song. Bette Midler sang it as well. So I was the lyrics was in my mind, and then and even in NS, then in NS Disney again had another show. He had Mulan, and all the songs, all the Disney songs were always about self-reflection, self-acceptance, and asking. It's the heroine or the hero is always some outcast usually. They start as outcast, so they go from zero to hero, right? So it's like misfits. And also I felt like a misfit. And so that day I cried my heart out and I prayed and I asked, I basically asked to be straight. And of course, that doesn't work, right? It doesn't work that way. You know, once in this lifetime, this is your life path. That's it. You learn to work with those energies and experience every lifetime. You're a different being, and you experience the and come to acceptance of that. And that's why the greatest love is self-love, because it's easy to say, but it's actually very hard to do. Because true self-love is complete acceptance of all the flaws, all the things you don't like about yourself. Like, you know, people like body image, too fat lah, too tall. So even for me, I was like, I'm too skinny, I'm too short. And even within the gay community, there's a lot of discrimination, because they have an ideal that's being perpetuated by Hollywood and magazines and, you know, the mass media. Even the fashion industry where I'm from, that, you know, the ideal is that tall, muscular, dark, macho, very manly. So it becomes a toxic masculinity that the patriarchal society that has ruled humanity for millennia, that has caused that, you know, suppress that feminine expression. And that's why women, not just LGBT, but women as a whole, it started with women first, then had the suffragette movements. Women had to fight for equal rights to be, you know, same as men, and that has changed a lot over the years. So women are now almost equal, almost there. You're getting almost there. And so the Black movement, and as well as the LGBT, is trailing behind the suffragettes, the women's rights movement. So what it is that the sacred feminine aspects of humanity is rising, because we started off with a matriarchal system before the patriarchy took over. So you want both to be in balance, again, yin and yang, right? So now these people are getting more in touch with their feelings, and even as guys, we're taught, you know, you cannot cry because it's, you know, it's weak, but that's actually the opposite. It's actually very strong to get in touch with your feelings, emotions, and to cry.
So I just want to share how Liu and I met for
It's
Carol,
good.
and for those of you watching. So we actually have been friends for a long time, but we didn't meet. We just knew each other virtually. And I knew that he was going to be at Wonderfruit 2018. So when we met, I thought, okay, I have no idea what kind of person he is, and I was a bit wary of him. I guess I have my own stories also. I'm very wary of people who are good looking, and he is very good looking and very attractive. So you wouldn't think of things like, you know, good looking people have a good life. They have an easy life. But as he's sharing this, you know, we realized that actually looks is just one level of what we know about someone. So anyway, I met him, and I also have the perception of healers. A lot of them are just acting, you know, they're just pretending. So lo and behold, I shared room for one night with Luke, and I saw him take out his crystals and his cards, and I was like, okay, this is a healer who actually does what he teaches. He actually uses essential oils, he reads his cards, he plays with his crystals. And so I had so much respect for how Luke carries himself before an audience, before a workshop, and also when he's not having a workshop. So that was when I started to fall in love with him, and we have been friends ever since. So it is, he is what he is. So anyway, I'm sharing this because I also want to say, being his friend, I'm very amazed by the people that Luke is able to attract through his Instagram. So he has people who actually contacts him and say, Liu, I want to visit you, I want to get to know you, I'm drawn to you. And I think this is very much attributed to how you have been talking about your own personal journey and how you have been healing yourself. And this is why you are so beautiful and so attractive. And for those of you who don't know, Liu really does glow. He does glow. He really has good skin, and he really is very good looking in person. So can you share with us more about your followers and people who fly to meet you?
Well, I would say that when I was working in fashion, I had a larger following. I had once when I was posting as a fashion photographer, I was posting my photography of sexy models that I'll shoot, and that would then at the advent of Instagram, it rose to like 38,000 followers. And then after that, one day I just decided, okay, I don't want to post that anymore. That's in tandem with my spiritual awakening. And I started to post about my personal life. And then so after that, I switched into posting about spirituality, and then I had a nosedive drop in my followers. It started unfollow me, but now it's rising again because again, more people are awakening, more people are into holistic wellness. But I think what Martha and I share in common, and that's why she instantly had a liking for me, is because we are very authentic, we're very straightforward, we speak our truth. And to reach to this level of authenticity and being brave and taking no nonsense, having very healthy boundaries, it took work on ourselves. It's not something that you are kind of born with. It's something that you earn through cultivation, through integration and processing, and experience, life experience and wisdom. So I think that being true to myself, being willing to and brave to be vulnerable and authentic and human, and saying I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm not trying to be a hoity-toity priest, like spiritual practitioner. I'm not there. I'm trying to say that even Jesus wasn't perfect, right? So I'm trying to say it's okay to be, and by being that, we allow others to do the same. And so I think that is sorely lacking in especially the spiritual arena, not else outside that. And I think that's why Martha could sniff out the people who are inauthentic and the fakers from the ones that are really walking their walk, and talking their talk. Yeah.
Luke, I wonder, you're being very vocal on supporting the GLBT group, and then and also your brave story of coming out and being acceptance to who you really are deep inside. Do you receive a lot of backlash from being outed as gay itself, and then being a voice for the community?
Oh wow! I would say in my adolescence, when I was a teenager, I will have friends who tell me that my mom told me not to mix with you because you're gay and aqua and sissy, and they're worried that by mixing with you, you'll influence me. But the irony is those people are actually gay themselves, you see? So, so I obviously had gay friends, and they'll say that their mother said this. I'll get very hurt, I remember. So, I felt like I'm seeing far less of it right now. I recall, for example, during the very first Pink Dot in Singapore, because Pink Dot Hong Lim is very near to my previous home. I can walk there in 5 minutes. And during the first Pink Dot, there was less than 1,000 people, and my friends were all afraid to go. But I decided I must go because first of all, it's near my house. Secondly, I want to show solidarity for this movement, to express our right for equality and the right to love. And so for the first 5 years of Pink Dot, I always went supported. And subsequently became bigger and bigger until it's not even a dot anymore. It's spilling out of Hong Lim, and and now it's huge, right? And it became very commercial as well. All the companies like Google and Facebook and a lot of other big names, they were supporting and sponsors. It's kind of like a carnival now rather than a movement or a little bit of fusion of the two. So I would say that back in the early days, the ostracization, being criticized by my family members and my friends and their parents was more acute. Now, no. In fact, that's also the reason why I chose to go to fashion, because I knew that after my O levels, I knew that the fashion industry is probably one that's more accepting of my sexuality. And this is also, other than the fact that I'm creative and I love clothes, but that's why I chose that path to go into the fashion industry. So that I have the easier time, so to speak, be more around kindred souls.
Yeah. So do you have a partner right now? Are you seeing anyone?
No, I've been single I'm turning 41 next month, and I've been single all my life. And the reason for that is because growing up, I recall, every couple quarrels, and I saw my parents quarrel, and they almost got a divorce. And it was very traumatizing for me as a young child. So I thought, you know what, what's this love? I don't want love, I don't want relationships. And in my early 20s, there wasn't online dating. There wasn't. Internet was too new. And so there's kind of no way to go and find other guys anyway. So, and to me, it was like, guys come and go. Probably better for me to focus on my career and my education, because the career and education will stay with you, but you know, it will always be a part of you. You see, so I thought it was a better investment of my energy. And then in my late 20s, that's when the iPhone came out, and then you have Grindr and online dating and things like that, the concept. So that's when I started to date, but I did not find a match, not here in Singapore at least. I found one in Beijing, but he didn't choose me in the end. He chose someone else, and I got brokenhearted. But I think ultimately what it was is that I also being very empathetic, you know, all my friends would come to me and almost on a daily basis. They would, as relationship coach, you guys are relationship coach, you know as well. Your friends and families will kind of call you and say, "Hey, I got a relationship problem." So it then become like occupational hazard, because you keep hearing their issues, but then you get scared, right? And then, you know, our clients come to us, or obviously they come to us because they have an issue, but we've forgotten that, you know, at least when I was younger, I've forgotten that there's actually a lot of healthy, good relationships out there, but these people don't need to come see us coaches. So we're absorbing all the negativity, all the broken marriages, all the dumping of those relationship issues and problems. So I built a lot of walls and defense mechanisms to protect my heart. I wasn't ready to be vulnerable. I wasn't ready to accept, to want a relationship. But you know what? After having worked on myself so much, I think I'm finally ready. I'm finally ready for a committed, loyal, faithful, monogamous relationship. And I would like to say one more thing about this topic, which is that every single one of us, we want good partners. But we first have to ask ourselves, do we make good partners to others? So that's why it's very important to heal, to work on our self-development, to then ensure, see, when we see the red flags in us and we work on ourselves, we can then see the red flags in our potential partners, and then we don't accept bullshit. So it's like in the past, I will have dated a lot of abusive, toxic men, and because I don't have self-love, ample self-love, I'll accept whatever ghosting, gaslighting, and all the kind of toxic patterns from them, because I didn't feel worthy even. Now, no, you know, and I noticed that in Martha too, because very strict, very clear, succinct boundaries that we have, you know, and so it's no longer walls of separation. It's not about being cold. It's about that walls of separation is taken down. You're open now. Your heart's open now, but with very healthy set of boundaries in place, because you honor and love yourself first. And so from that self-love, can you then spill out to then love another, right? And then you're very picky about your partner as well, because it's better to choose someone that also has a certain level of spiritual maturity, emotional maturity. If they are not even emotionally available, you shouldn't even start, you see? And that's where I think a lot of couples, they go haywire, because they find partners that are not emotionally stable to handle themselves, let alone another partner.
True. Wow. I mean, you know, look, you have shared so much today, and I feel very blessed, you know, to be benefited from your sharing right now, you know, based on this interview. And I've actually learned quite a number of things from you today. This is the first time I'm meeting you, and I would have to say that not only that you have an attractive face, yeah, but you have also a beautiful heart as well. I can really feel it from here.
Thank you.
From the, you know, for the benefit of the audience, you know, how can they get connected with you?
All right, you can search me on Instagram as well as Facebook by typing my name, Luke Elijah. And also, I have a YouTube channel where I have interviewed over 100 practitioners. I have 240 videos plus and counting. Practitioners like Dr. Martha Lee. So I interview experts in their field, designers, artists, spiritual practitioners, healers, teachers, experts in their field who have inspiring stories to share. So if you search my name, Luke Elijah, on Facebook, on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, any of these social medias, and so then you can look at all these resources, especially the YouTube, because there are a lot of good videos that educate the public. It's all free, right? All free for them.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to add that just now earlier I asked you, is this the first time that you are sharing publicly that you are gay?
No, it's not the first time, but I would say that in terms of an interview like this is my first time, but in terms of to a group setting to acknowledge it, was only something that I've been fully comfortable within myself for the last 3 to 4 years. Before that, I didn't bother to hide it, but I wasn't like telling everyone or as forthcoming as I am now. So within the last 4 years, I've been really so comfortable with my own sexuality and self-identity that it's a non-issue for me as well anymore. That I don't care whether someone accepts me. If they don't accept me and love me because of my sexuality alone, that's their issue and not mine, right? So yes, we stop that people pleasing version of me is long gone, you know, because then you cultivate that maturity. So yeah, so I feel.
Yes, I also want to make sure that everybody has a good idea of how they can engage you. So you mentioned that you do photography, you do journalism, you are a stylist, you have so many things that you can do, but you also are a healer. And so if people want counseling sessions with you, what kind of modality do you do? Maybe you can tell them a bit more.
Sure. Well, basically, together with my parents, we travel around the world. Of course, not at this time, but before the COVID, we've been traveling around the world at least once a month to different festivals and fairs. That's how I met Martha, right? At the Wonderful Festival. And we teach people meditation, yoga, massage therapy, aromatherapy. So I have during this lockdown, I've been doing a lot of online classes. And so if you go to my professional Facebook page, Luke Elijah Spirit, you would see updates to all of my workshops and classes, whether online or live. And we teach cooking, we teach perfume making, we teach massage therapy, aromatherapy, Reiki, how to read the Akashic records, and so because spirituality is a very big genre. But I would say my best topics, my forte will be about self-love, emotional healing, as well as on the subject of twin flames and soulmates.
Yes, I remember all your different workshops, and your full moon meditation healings are pretty special, really special. So I will encourage people to check out your work. Okay, so I want to do a last shout out for my festival. So you are going to be presenting at my festival called Sugar and Spice. So the website is sugarandspice.asia because we are Asians. So this festival is a virtual festival on positive sexuality by Asians for Asians. And Luke is going to be offering 2 things. So can Luke, you talk about it?
Well, the first one is about sacred sexuality for men. And I'll be sharing ancient Taoist secrets of how to have orgasms without ejaculation. And so you have semen retention. And what you can do is you can reverberate the energy like a toroidal field, right? Rising up your chakras, but back down. And so you're able to have multiple orgasms or the sensation, energetic sensation of it without ejaculating. And then so you can recycling that sexual energy. And that sexual energy can be even used further to manifest and to create into physicality. So the sexual energy is very sacred, very divine, and very powerful. And a lot of men because society has taught us to shame masturbation, sex, taboo, but that's old patriarchal structures that's falling and crumbling. So we need re-education. A lot of people understand it's not shameful, it's actually sacred and divine and very, very powerful. You know how to harness it. And so I'll be sharing all these tips and secrets that actually our ancestors knew and ancestors taught, but we're just kind of relearning them and rediscovering them. And the second session will be about my journey to achieving self-love. Because self-love sounds very lofty. People think that if I don't look a certain way or I don't have enough money, I cannot love myself. And I struggle with that as well. Like I mentioned, my own sexual identity and so forth. I'm also human. I go through all the anxieties and depression like everyone else. And I've transmuted it and transcended it. So I'm going to share practical tips and pointers how to achieve that. to achieve self-love.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your journey, your coming out 2 times, spiritual and also being gay. And yeah, I really appreciate you saying yes to this interview and also your participation and support for all my initiatives. So yeah, Carol, take over.
Yeah. Thank you, Martha, and thank you so much, Luke, once again for coming here, being courageous in sharing your story. And everybody, this is Bear All. I'm Carol Gockel, together with my co-host, Dr. Martha Tarali. This is Bear All. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.